Welcome to the Josh Wiley channel, where we're going to be showing off making firearm parts and modifications and gear reviews. If you're new to the channel, consider getting subscribed and be sure to click the bell icon to be alerted about all the new video uploads. You can also find us on Instagram and our website at www.watchjoshwiley.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be an update video on the custom SD9VE. I did get a new light for it, and this one is the Streamlight TLR1HL. I was going to do two separate videos, but I decided to just put them into one video. I am going to talk about this new light that I've got for this pistol that I've been running on it. And this is a TLR1HL. There is 3 different TLR1s. So that was going to be the other video that I was going to do, but we're all going to talk about all of it in this one video. So we're going to show off the light, go over it, and then the second part of the video is going to be talking about the differences between the 3 different TLR1 lights from Streamlight. So let's hop right into it. If this is your first video on the channel, I have done a lot of videos on this pistol. Be sure to check those out. I've done a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got a video coming up where I'm going to talk about all the stuff on this pistol. So stay tuned for that. Be sure and consider getting subscribed if you've got one of these pistols and you like how this is. But this video is about the light. Like I said, it's from Streamlight. It's the TLR1HL. This particular TLR1 puts out 800 lumens with a 245 meter beam. It's got a runtime of 1.75 hours and a max candela of 15,000. And something I want to point out towards the end of the video when we get to talking about the 3 different lights here, the 3 different TLR1 lights, I will have up on the screen all the different numbers, so you can pause it if you want to and check out all the numbers stacked beside each other to see what you want to do. But back to the light, it also uses 2 CR123 batteries. This one also has a rail clamp mount that you don't actually need to have tools to take it on and off. But you do have a little knob here on the side that it does have a slot in there for a flathead if you really wanted to clamp this down on your pistol or whatever you've got it on. But you don't have to, and you can just take it with your finger and unscrew it a little bit, and it does have a spring in there, so you can just squeeze it and pop it off. And then to put it back on, you just line up your slot on your rail and pop it on there. And then just twist this down to tighten it up. I will show a little bit later in the video. I'm going to take this off, take it apart, stuff like that. But in here it does have a little key that fits different pistols. And when you get this light, it comes with 3 different ones, I think. One is for a Glock style, one is for a regular Picatinny rail, and they've got another one for the Beretta 92, and I think they've got a couple more in there for different types of pistols. So you don't have to worry about this not fitting nicely on your pistol, because all the keys in there, it's probably going to fit real good on just about any pistol you put this on. It is machined from aluminum with a hard anodized finish. The on-off switch is ambidextrous, like you can see here. Take one and push it one way and it stays on, and you take it and push the other way and it's just a pressure switch. Press on and it comes off, you let off and it comes on. And then the other one stays on. You pop it and click it off. This one also does have a strobe feature, and to engage the strobe you'll go to your pressure side of the switch and you'll just double tap it real quick and it'll strobe, and you let off and it'll cut off. And this does have a overall length of 3.39 inches, and it does weigh in at 4.18 ounces. And this also does have a waterproof rating of IPX7, which means you can submerge this in water up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. And with this TLR1HL, you can actually get this in 3 different colors. You can get it in black like you see here, you can get it in flat dark earth, and then they have a flat dark earth brown color. And with this one, they also have what's called a long gun kit, which you can mount this on a long gun like an AR-15, and your back comes off, and you'll have another back that you'll put on here, and it's actually got a separate pressure switch like you've got on the ProTac light from Streamlight. I actually did a video on that as well, but it's pretty much the same pressure switch with the cable, and it just plugs into the back, and it turns this light into a light for a long gun just like the ProTac. So that is an option there if you did want to go that route. And then this is the light at night. See how solid that beam is? Then up in the trees, even way up high. Real bright and concentrated real good in that beam. And then you move over even stuff way far away, you can still see really good. And then inside, for not white walls, up close, if the lights are completely off and it's completely dark, see how well it is. It's really nice in here, but I'll show in a second with a white wall or ceiling how bright it can be. But that's for the light in close counters with no white walls or anything to blind yourself. And then for close quarters with a white wall or ceiling, you can see how bright that is. So your eyes will eventually get used to it kind of quick, but there is going to be a couple seconds of pretty disoriented or pretty much almost completely blind from this thing popping on. And then up at the ceiling. I mean, it's a really nice light. I like it, but just for white walls or ceiling up close, I wouldn't want to be blinded when I actually really needed this thing. But all around, fairly nice light. Oh, and there's Jesus. And I mean, you can see pointing this gun up in the air. There's no lights in here, and this light lights up this whole entire room. So now let's take it off and check the light out. The front screws off. And like all Streamlight lights, they do have a O-ring in here to seal it, to keep water and grit from getting in there and messing something up. And then this is the key I was talking about. It comes with a couple of different keys for different pistols, and you'll be able to just completely unscrew this and take the side piece off and pull the key out and put your other key in, whichever key you need for whatever pistol you're planning on putting this on. Put the back on there and you're good to go. And then for the batteries, you have a little thin piece of metal right here that you'll pop that way, and it'll pop that back in there. And then you got to kind of manhandle this. I was scared I was going to break it at first, but this piece has got a little lip in there that's down in there, and once you flip this latch off and push it down towards the light, you can just pop that off, and then when you do that, that flips over like this. And then about the long gun kit that I was talking about earlier, I think that's just for the HL version of this. Not 100% sure, and I'm not 100% sure if you can get the long gun kit by itself. Like if you bought this light and then you want to put it on a long gun, I'm not 100% sure if you can get the long gun kit. I know you can get the light with the long gun kit, but I'm not sure if you can get just the long gun kit for the pressure switch for this. But if you can, or if you want to take this back off for any reason, you do have a small pin down here that you can just pop out and this will come off. And then your batteries, two CR123 batteries, and you have two in here that go two different ways, and if you ever forget which way they go in, just like just about any Streamlight I've ever used, they do have indicator markings on here for how the battery goes in each side, so you can't get it wrong unless you're blind. And if you're blind, you wouldn't really need this light. So real simple to use. I really like this light. Put it back, pop that end back in there, squeeze that back tight, and then you'll take this and pop it back and you're ready to go. So that is the TLR1HL light. Now, like I said earlier, there is 3 different TLR1 lights, and we're going to go over what's the difference in them and decide on which one you might want to use depending on what you're doing with. Now, before we get into the differences, all the TLR1s have a lot of stuff in common. They are all the exact same length, they look the same, they weigh the same, the mount is the same, the back I'm pretty sure is the identical same, and they both use the same batteries too in each one. All that is identical. And one thing to mention, I said the back switch plate is the same. I'm pretty sure it is, not 100% sure, because from the research I did online, the long gun kit, I could only seem to find that for the HL. So you might be able to find that for others, but I couldn't. So if that is the case, the backs might not be identical, but if you're interested in going that route, I do a little bit more research into that, or get in touch with Streamlight to see, to ask them the question. But now on to the differences. The first difference I want to point out is, earlier I said this is the HL, and you can get this in black, FDE, and then their FDE brown color. You can only get the HL in those 3 colors. So the TLR1 and the TLR1S you can only get in black. So with the TLR1 and the TLR1S, they are pretty much identical. They are a little bit different from the HL, like I have. The TLR1 and TLR1S put out only 300 lumens, where this puts out 800 lumens. They have a runtime of 2.5 hours versus this having 1.75 runtime hours. And they put out 12,000 candela, where this puts out 15,000 candela. I did mention a beam because when I did the research online from the Streamlight website, they didn't put a beam size on the TLR1 and the TLR1S, but it is on the TLR1HL, so it might be the same, but don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. So the TLR1 versus the TLR1HL is that this is a whole lot brighter and more powerful than the TLR1. And like I said, this is 800 lumens. If you're in a house or any structure and it's dark or very low lighting, and you were to point this at a white wall or ceiling, probably not for everybody, but for me, if it's dark and you pop this thing on a white ceiling, it is like almost completely blinding. Even though you're behind the pistol and you turn it on, if you're relatively close to the ceiling or the wall, whatever you're pointing it at, it is like very, very bright in your face, gonna blind you, disorient you for at least a couple of seconds. Like I said, it might not be everybody, but that's how it was for me. So with the TLR1HL, for me anyways, this is more of a outdoor light. I have this on this because I don't use this for home defense. This is just one of my guns that I take to the range and shoot, so this light will always be outside. So the benefit of having the TLR1 over the TLR1HL is that it is not as bright. It only puts out 300 lumens versus the 800 lumens, so it's not going to be as bright. So when you point this anywhere in your house, even if it's white wall or white ceiling, it's not going to like blind you real good. It's a whole lot dimmer and better for you indoors. The TLR1 is best suited for indoor home defense type situations, and then the TLR1HL is better for outside, as in it is a whole lot brighter and puts out a whole lot more light. So now with the TLR1 and the TLR1S, the only difference in the two is the S, and it stands for strobe. The TLR1 does not have a strobe feature, and the TLR1S is the same identical light with a strobe feature. So if you want that light and you want to stay with 300 lumens, so you don't want the HL, you either have to pick between the TLR1 or the TLR1S. One has the strobe, one doesn't. And like I said, if you do go with the TLR1HL, this also does have the strobe feature on it as well. And I forgot to mention earlier the stuff that is the same on all 3 lights. The waterproof rating, IPX7, for up to a meter of water for 30 minutes, that is the same for all 3 lights. So they are, all 3 of them are IPX7. So hopefully that clears some stuff up for you on the differences between the TLR1, TLR1S, and the TLR1HL. That is a mouthful. like I have here, that is the differences in the three. All are very good lights. It all depends on what you want it for, what situation you're planning on using it. But they all are really good lights, and I really love them. And I love all lights from Streamlight. I've been turned into a Streamlight fanboy. So that's the new light on the SD9VE. If you're interested in checking this pistol out, if you have a SD9VE or SD40VE, it's the same thing. One shoots 9mm, one shoots 40. It's identical. But I have done a whole lot of stuff to this, so be sure and check out all the videos and stay tuned for the other ones. I did say I'd put all the numbers on the three different TLR1 lights up on the screen, so here they are. You've got the TLR1, the TLR1S, and the TLR1HL. You've got 300 lumens for the TLR1 and the S, and 800 lumens on the HL. The beam was not specified on the Streamlight website, so I'm not 100% on that for the TLR1 and the TLR1S. But the beam for the TLR1HL is 245 meter beam. And then for the runtime on the TLR1 and the TLR1S, which is the same, you've got 2.5 hours of runtime. And then on the HL, you do have 1.75 hours of runtime. Then for the candela, for the TLR1 and the TLR1S, runs up to 12,000 candela versus the HL having 15,000 candela. So I hope y'all like this video on the new light for the SD9 that I've got, and trying to differentiate between the three different lights, what's the difference in them and stuff like that. So stay tuned, check out the videos upcoming on this pistol. I've got more coming. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you have Streamlights, what you think of them, if you like them. If you don't, let me know down in the comment section below. And if this is your first video, be sure to consider getting subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.